Yo, what it is, what it is. Welcome to another episode of Double D's Let's Talk About It, the podcast that we talk about all sports, social issues, political issues, whatever it may be. We just tap in and touch in. I am your host with our host. I am your host, Damien. We're here with Davion, our other host here today. We like to thank y'all for tapping in with us. What's going on with you today, D?
What's going on, Damien? What's up, everybody? Let's get this 2-round mock going.
You get it going, man. We're about to tap in. We ain't gonna waste a lot of time. We're gonna keep this one short and sweet. This is a 2-round mock draft, no trades. So I'm gonna bring up the screen for everybody to see,
No trade.
and we're gonna go on and start it. No trades. And as we start off, it's the Bears. I have won the coin toss, and I get the first flip. The first pick. I'm going with the obvious pick here. I'm gonna take Caleb Williams with the first pick. And you got Washington at number 2.
Washington. Actually, you know what's crazy? I seen some stuff today where they were talking about JJ McCarthy could be the second pick overall. I don't believe that. I'm gonna go Drake. I'm gonna go Drake May.
Drake May. Okay. Drake May.
Drake May.
All right. That takes us to New England. No curveballs. Just a switch in the roles. I take Jaden Daniels with the knee. No curveballs here, bro. That leaves us with the Cardinals. I already know what this. I mean, this is chalk right here.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr. All right.
Enough said.
I like the pick. Enough said. With everything needed here, I'm gonna go with a safe pick. Joe Alt, Notre Dame, need protection.
Oh,
Now here where the curveballs start coming in. What do you do?
They
if
need
you're
weapons,
New York?
man. I mean, yeah, they need weapons. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is right now. Your number one wide receiver is Darius Slayton and Isaiah McKenzie. I'm going Malik Neighbors. They hit gold when they drafted OBJ out of LSU. I'm gonna go Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. With the situation now, you got your quarterback. You don't have enough weapons, but it is a deep draft at receiver. So I'm gonna go because of the tackles on the board. I'm gonna go Fashanu, Penn State, for the Titans. We got Atlanta next at number 8.
I definitely believe this pick, if it's not traded, it's going to be edge.
Mm-hmm.
I took Dallas Turner last time. I'm going to go Jared Verse.
You're going to Jared Verse. Okay. Jared Verse. The Bears. It comes back to the Bears. They got their rookie quarterback. They need an edge. So I think they would go edge here in this situation. This is where I think Dallas Turner would end up then. At edge. You got the Jets at 10.
Oh, I know Steve ain't gonna like it, but he's right there. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, I'm gonna go. Let's see, because even though they did pick up some offensive tackles, they have always seemed to have had issues with injury against that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I would like Brock Bowers here, but I'm gonna go Fuaga out of Oregon State.
Fuaga out of Oregon State. Get some tough that mentality too. He's a road grader. All right, that leaves us with Minnesota. I mean, quarterback. You just let one ride. This is where they take that where it wouldn't been a reach at number 2, like you said. That's a reach for me with him at number 2. But at number 11, JJ McCarthy. Yeah. Just before Denver, which throws Denver all off.
Yeah.
Unless they reach.
Whoo.
And I wouldn't say
the crazy thing is, man. But the crazy thing is, I don't think they have a second round pick. So I honestly think if this is the case, they would probably try to trade out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that Sean Payton is going to be allowed to be there for the long haul. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's got a huge contract as a coach.
Hmm.
So I think they're gonna let him build the team up. And I'm gonna get me another bookend corner. My Alabama boys. I'm gonna go Terry and Arnold to pair with Patrick Surtain.
Okay, so you're going Tyrion Arnold there. They're going defense. I think in this situation, you got the Raiders who need quarterback also, but they did sign Gardner Minshew. You let Jacobs walk. You need D tackle, cornerback, and OT. I do know that in that situation, uh, you know what? They may surprise a little in this situation because I actually think they're going to try to move up before they do anything. But I'm going to say they reach here, and not really a reach, but they go ahead and take that quarterback. Actually, no, my bad. They take the offensive lineman. They go safe and they take Batanu from Washington. They just get more protection for what they
Okay.
have and just try to build around. I would honestly think in reality they try to move up though to
Yeah.
get one of the three
Yeah.
quarterbacks. That's just me. Oh, this is the easy one with the Saints.
Well, I'm gonna go. To be honest with you, this is a deep class with the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They have an older defense,
Mm-hmm.
but outside of Chris Olave, they don't have a lot of weapons. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Brock Bowers. I'm gonna steal him right before the Colts are
Wow.
on the clock.
Wow. Interesting. Wow. That's interesting. And the Colts are now on the clock, which is not a problem. I stick with chalk. They still need a weapon. You weren't able to get that tight end, but you do have a slew of good wide receivers on the board. Uh, you can team up with Pittman. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna go with Roma Dunzi. I'm gonna stick with chalk with what I picked the last
Roman.
time as Roma Dunzi. Yeah, it was either him or Brian Thomas because you have him on the board also.
Yeah.
And you got the Seattle Seahawks at 16.
Seattle, I don't know. Like I told you, I was working on my videos as
Hmm.
well. I don't know what the hell Seattle's got going on.
Yeah.
I know one thing that they do have two bookend young tackles. You're gonna need
Hmm.
interior. I feel like you can pull secondary in the later rounds.
Hmm.
This may be somewhat of a reach, but I'm gonna go Jackson Power Johnson.
Yeah. Center. Okay.
Yeah.
At least Jacksonville, who automatically with them, big need. They need wide receiver, but they signed so many free agents. They Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
They did let what's the name Ridley's gone, but I think they've been able to supplement and in a deep draft. I think they go corner here and they take Quinyon Mitchell. That leaves us with the Bengals at 18.
Now, I don't think they need offensive tackle anymore
Hmm.
because they have Orlando Brown at left and Trent Brown at right. I
Hmm.
started to call them the Twin Towers, but I didn't want to be insensitive
Yeah.
with that. But you got two mountains. They're both 6'8". You got two
Yeah.
6'8" tackles. Um, they've done what they could already, beefing up the guard position.
Hmm.
I I'm gonna go Brian Thomas Jr. because
Ah.
you're not gonna be able to keep T Higgins and Jamar Chase. They tagged Higgins. Higgins is talking about or he's already requested a trade.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go Brian Thomas Jr. because I believe that they can trade T Higgins during the draft and be
That's
able to
nasty.
accumulate some more picks. So
Another LSU receiver.
another LSU. Yep.
Yeah. The situation we see here with LA, I have LA. You got a need for edge. You just lost Aaron Donald, who retired. So I mean, it's pretty much telling and tip their hand. They would surprise me if they didn't go defense because you got a huge gap now. So I'm saying they're gonna go edge, even though the type of defense they run, they'll find a defensive tackle, but this isn't necessarily your deepest draft to draft at this position at D tackle. So I think they would go edge with Latu.
I like that
Pittsburgh
pick
at
for him.
20. Yeah.
I like that pick. Well, you just brought in your quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you want to protect them. You got your
Mm-hmm.
Broderick Jones last year for your left side. Let's get his old Georgia running mate. I think this is almost like has to be the pick. Every time we've done
You
this, this has
picked
been
it
the pick.
every time you done it.
Every time,
Yes.
like I don't see anyone else. I don't see any other position where they would go. Maybe
Yeah.
corner,
Amaris
but
Mims.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Amaris Mims.
Amaris Mims. All right. Dolphins. You need now. This is a team at their pick that does need to replace some of the offensive line and defensive line. You just let Christian Wilkins walk. You did bring in some veterans to help at the edge, but I think they probably go D tackle here. Um, why is he listed there? But I'll go ahead and put him. I think they take Johnny Newton out of Illinois. That goes with the Eagles' neck.
Now the Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
they need cornerback.
Rich gets
I'm
richer.
going. I'm going. The best one on the board, even though he's a little light in the tail. I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins to
Wow,
the
that's why I
Eagles.
said the rich gets richer.
Yeah,
Okay, the Vikings, who I have the Vikings next on deck, who took JJ McCarthy. They have Addison and what's the name at weapons, Jefferson. A need for them now that they have the quarterback. They can go anywhere from guard to corner to wide receiver. I think this is where corner comes off the board also back to back. They take Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Hmm.
I like that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas
That leaves
Cowboys.
Dallas. Yes, I finally don't have to draft for this mess.
It is mess too, boy.
Yeah. I mean, they can go
Because
anywhere from
where
tackle to center.
and I mean, obviously you're gonna want to build up that offensive line. We've talked
Yeah.
about it how many times. What is it? Where does Tyler
Yeah.
Smith go now that Tyron
Yeah.
Smith is
Yeah.
gone?
So you don't
He's
know, do they go
more of
guard,
a
tackle?
right because if it was me, I'd keep him at guard. He's
Hmm.
really handsy to be a tackle.
Yeah.
He played well in Tyron's absence.
Yeah.
Uh, Terrence Steele is also a player that has played guard as well.
Hmm.
So I, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick Tyron or Tyler Smith. This is just what I think Jerry would do as well. I
Hmm.
think he'll kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle.
Hmm.
He'll bring Steele over to left guard,
Hmm.
and they'll go J.C. Latham
At tackle, right
as their
tackle.
right tackle.
Yeah. All right. JC Latham. That leaves Green Bay, which needs linebacker, corner, guard, tackle, and safety. I don't necessarily believe that a linebacker would go this high. I just don't.
Mm-mm.
Um, I know who would fit the system for them defensively perfectly, but he won't go that high. So I go to the next available position, uh, which for them, I know they had to replace Bakhtari, which they already did. I don't know much about. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember. We discussed a lot of their depth on the interior, but it is some things that they can look at. You know what? A perfect fit for them probably would be Graham Barton at guard. So I go with
I like
Graham
it.
Barton. Yeah,
I like it.
it
They're
kind
in
of
a
he
good
fits
position
their
because
their
all their
mentality.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they're in a good position with all their skill players being young.
yeah, yeah. I was never looking skill for them. I was looking always looking on the trenches or at linebacker, but I couldn't take that linebacker that high.
Yeah,
You got Tampa Bay.
Tampa
They can
Bay,
go
Tampa
anywhere
Bay,
too. Yeah.
they really can. You took my guy. I was going to go Barton with them because they needed interior.
Yeah, it's
I
still
tell you
some
what,
it's some
they
weapons still out
moved.
there on the line.
Yeah, they moved Tristan Wirfs over to left tackle. I'm going to go
Hmm.
Tyler Guyton. I'm going to go
Guyton.
Tyler
Hmm.
Guyton. Get my
Yeah,
right tackle situation.
nice. Now you got no need. You need defensive tackle, cornerback, a edge, or a guard in this situation. As the Cardinals are sitting here at number 27. Um, I don't see any guards that go to the area of where my need. My defensive tackles, I'm not reaching that far, but I would go with Byron Murphy. That's a need at D tackle. You already have your wide receiver. You take Byron Murphy. That leaves us with Buffalo at number 28.
They're going to need wide receiver help,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. This is where I think they would try to, because what Buffalo has been doing since Josh Allen has been in the league has been trying to keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll ever get over that 13-second loss when they had the speedster of Tyreek Hill. So we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go speedster, and we're gonna go Xavier Worthy. We're gonna give
Xavier
Josh Allen
Worthy,
somebody
a
to
deep threat.
launch that ball
Mm-hmm.
to down the field.
Okay. Interesting. All right. You got a key position. We move on to the Lions, who need help at edge, corner, D tackle, guard, and wide receiver. I would not take wide receiver if I'm them first. I'm definitely addressing the defense. He's sitting there at number with the number 24 ranked prospect, but I think they go and continue to shore up their secondary with Cooper DeJean.
I like it.
Yeah,
I really, really like that pick.
yeah. Uh, You got
Here,
Baltimore on the clock.
here for Baltimore, like you was
Hmm.
getting ready to do the pick before.
Hmm.
They've picked Penn State edge rushers before. They like the athleticism.
Hmm.
Um, they lost Clowney, Kyle Van Noy, so you're gonna have to replace that. I'm gonna go Chop Robinson. I
Todd
think his best
Robinson.
fit is in a three
Yeah,
four.
yeah. It is. It is because of his size and build. That leaves the rich gets
Yeah,
richer again. We go directly to San Francisco. Um, they have a few needs as far as just the build and development. I mean, they're just like Kansas City. They're ready. They don't have no dire needs. The needs that they need are just would be gravy on top. So I don't necessarily think they would go here in reality. I'm looking at the need of tackle and probably having someone to groom under Trent. And they weren't necessarily in love with the other guy, the other tackle on the other side. What's his name? Starts with an M. Yeah,
Moltvitz or something like that. They
yeah,
re-signed him to a 1 year deal, but I know he
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah. He was in the doghouse a little bit. I think they go
Yeah,
tackle here with Kingsley out of BYU. I can't pronounce his last. Suamatea out of BYU.
all right.
Even though
Hmm.
it's another place I could have went there that I think
That's
they would
actually where I
probably
was
go
gonna
also.
go.
But Kansas City has a chance to stockpile more defensive talent, or they can go offensive talent. I mean, rich gets richer.
Yeah, not only more defensive talent, I think they also have an opportunity to accumulate some more draft picks out of this position because I don't think they necessarily
Yeah,
need to pick in the first round. To be
they
honest
don't.
with you, but my
They could
main
trade
thing is
back a
going to
few
be
spots.
protecting,
Yeah,
and I think that's what they'll do. I think that's what they'll do. I'm going to go. I'm gonna protect Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna go Jordan Morgan out of Arizona.
Arizona. Hmm. Okay, that concludes the first round. We move on with the Carolina Panthers, who most likely would have had the number one pick in this year's draft if they didn't trade it away because they're sitting here with the first pick in the second. Man, they need a little bit of everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it says I'm looking at the suggestions, but I just can't get over the need for talent at offensive line. You got to protect
Well, now they
Price.
Now let me remind you
Free
that
agency,
the
they did
guard
address some
position
things, right?
they
Mm-hmm.
addressed the interior. So I mean they already
Mm-hmm.
had Tyler Moton, which is their booking right
Mm-hmm.
tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Okwanu is their left tackle, and they did boost up their guard with Robert Hunt and I think Damian Lewis of the
That's right.
Dolphins
That's
and
right. You
Seahawks.
did mention that to me before. You told me about that. So do you get in that situation? Do you got to replace Brian Burns at edge? You also have you could help Bryce with more
Mhm.
weapons at the offense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I do not want to stick him there. You know what? I go AD Mitchell. I'm not doing it to him. AD
You
Mitchell.
didn't want Keon.
Oh no, I just can't see him. I don't want to. I'm not doing it to him. But I do think if they, since you know that you said that they got a little bit more serviceable offensive line from what they picked up,
Yeah.
I would go weapon because the edges at this point. I mean, if you the next pick, they got the number 39 pick. That edge they probably would take at 33. Most likely, it's going to be there. So
Right.
that's why I'm like, I'm not going to reach for an edge. Just get another weapon. But it goes with the Patriots at number 34.
Now, what we know about the Patriots
Mm-hmm.
historically has been they've enjoyed the smaller, shiftier wide receivers. We drafted Jaden Daniels. You're gonna
Yeah.
want to get him some form of weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm thinking Lad. I'm thinking Lad because he gets open,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe they want to get more of a security blanket
Mm-hmm.
for Jaden, and I think him and Keon Coleman would be a good pairing. I'm gonna go Keon Coleman.
Okay. Keon. All right. Then we go to the Cardinals. They've addressed the defensive tackle and the wide receiver positions. Uh, they go back around, drafting high in the round. I think they take and they address the corner position with TJ Tampa. That leaves Washington at number 36.
We're in good. We're in good position right here.
Mm-hmm.
We got our quarterback already.
Mm-hmm.
They did. They already have solid wide receivers and weapons.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can boost our guard position, or do we want to boost our offensive tackle position?
Mm-hmm.
But what we know, Dan Quinn is a defensive coach.
Exactly.
He's boosted some of his secondary and his front seven. I'm gonna go Tyler
Mm-hmm.
Nubin, safety out of Minnesota.
Man, I had to get a little excited for that pick. That was a good pick because that as I was scrolling through and looking, that's exactly where I would have went, man. Tyler Newman right there.
Yeah,
That's a great pick.
I think he fits. I think he really fits what Dan Quinn wants to do. He can play
Hmm.
both. He could play free and strong, so he can be a real
Yeah.
interchangeable piece.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we move on to the Chargers. They drafted some protection. This is a team that needs weapons now. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with a big body wide receiver. Move the chain. But end up being a little explosive too. In Xavier Leggett, South Carolina. Yeah, I skipped over some a lot of names because I think he'll fit that target because you let Mike Williams go and then they let what's name's gone
And
too,
Keenan
right?
Allen.
Yeah.
And Keenan
So
Allen.
you need a big body guy and a
He's a
possession
he's
guy that can move the chains. They got some speed too.
yeah, he's a 4-3 guy, so
Yeah.
that's good for him. All right, let's see. Tennessee.
Tennessee, Tennessee.
You don't need quarterback. I mean cornerback no more.
Nope.
But you do need a tight end, someone who can move the chains,
Mm-hmm.
add to that explosive offense. You got Calvin Ridley, D Hop. Let me check my phone. Before I do that, I tell you what, I am. I'm going to make a U-turn, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
boost up my defensive front, and I'm gonna get that big mountain of sweat out of Texas, Devondre Sweat.
Stuff the middle of the line, Trevante. All right. Well,
I think that helps free up Jeffrey Simmons on the edge.
hmm now number 39, where I said already that you already addressed with the 33rd pick, Adonai Mitchell. You needed a weapon to add. Now you can address the edge position, or you can go tight end or center because it's also a list and a need. But let's start with edge, and it's a position of need that they have. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say that's where they go because I see where I would actually go um, to fit the system that they run. Man, it's a little it's a little shaky at edge for me to go that high. But I guess they reach and they go with I didn't like his combine performance necessarily. It was okay though, but they go Darius Robinson, Missouri.
Yeah, he's a player. I think he'll
Yeah.
slide.
Yeah.
I definitely think he'll slide. He
Yeah.
might end up being a late second, early third round pick because he did not have a good combine. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything about his pro day.
No, I haven't either.
All right,
At least
Commanders.
Washington again, the rich gets richer. You address the safety, you addressed quarterback need. You have, like you said, you have skill. This is like now you're just adding to it.
Yep. I'm gonna go Jatavian Sanders. I'm gonna
Jatavian
give him
Sanders.
a tight end.
Okay. Let me
Add
put
that
him.
add that with
Okay. Green
dang, what's
Bay.
their names? I haven't forgot their names. Scary Terry McLaurin
Yeah,
and
McLaurin.
Dotson. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Green Bay. This is where I think Green Bay makes one of the bigger name steals of the draft because it's in the second round. This is a linebacker that I had already said would fit well, but not at that pick in the first round who I had him for, which was I can't remember what team it was. It was a three. It was more. It was a perfect fit, but I just wouldn't take. Oh,
Mhm.
that's what it was. He's sitting there in the second round, and it's Peyton Wilson would fit perfectly with what they
Ooh.
do, sitting perfectly with what they run and how they
Ooh.
play. That's a great. That's yeah. That's a nasty
Yeah,
pickup. Because I'm
I
saying
like
I'm
that
like
pick.
I couldn't take him in the first pick. I wouldn't take him in the first round because he would be sitting there, and I knew he would be sitting there.
Yeah. I like that pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. He
I'm
fit.
gonna
He
go
he actually
for the
fits
Houston
them.
Texans.
Uh
Houston
huh.
Texans. Yeah, and pair him next to Quay Walker too. That's
Yeah. Uh huh.
two big athletic, fast
Right.
guys.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna keep the linebacker train going. I'm gonna go Edrin Cooper for the Houston Texans.
Okay. Keep him. Keep him. Keep him in home. All right. With the Falcons, this is where the pick. This is the pick that changes the game because you got your guy, but now you got somebody he can groom. Michael Penix, Atlanta.
Ah,
Puts the I
that's where I
hated
was
to
going.
do it to the Raiders because the Raiders would have took him right there. That's what I was
That's where I
thinking.
was. That's where I was going.
Yep.
That's
But I
where I
think the
was going.
Falcons sit there and you take your quarterback now and you can groom him and sit him under Cousins for about a year or two and be fine.
Yeah.
And you already got your guy that's ready to transition. So that puts the Raiders in a bind as far as quarterbacks because they'd be reaching at this point.
And
Or
I
would
don't.
they?
I'm not big on Bo Nix. I'm not big on Bo
Yeah.
Nix at all. So
No.
I'm
That's
telling
why
you
I
right.
didn't
I'm
grab
telling
him.
you right now. I ain't
Yeah.
reaching. I ain't reaching
No.
for him.
Yeah, I'm
So
not. I'm not. That's why I skipped over him.
I'm gonna keep building up the offensive line. I'm gonna keep building up the offensive line. I'm
Okay.
gonna go Christian Haynes out of UConn.
Okay. Christian Haynes, UConn. All right. Now I'm got the Saints. Um, man, what do you do? Who do they take with their first pick again? Who'd you take? I'm trying to
Brock.
remember.
If you click
To dress.
click on
Yeah,
that
you took
icon,
Brock. I got it. I got you.
if you just click on the Saints icon, it'll
Okay.
show you who you pick
Okay. Didn't know that.
over in the
Ah,
draft
there we
results.
go.
And yeah, yeah, right
Here we
there.
go. Got you. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, they addressed the offensive weapon. Um, I look here and think they have a need for interior line. They still have a need for uh offensive linemen also because you don't know. I don't know. You know anything about anything they've done in free agency to try to replace the aging and what they look. What didn't Pete move on?
Pete moved on.
Yeah,
They have not picked up really. They haven't had a real good free agency. They haven't picked up any
yeah. They
offensive linemen or anything.
okay. That's what I was trying to make sure because I don't remember. I don't remember hearing, but I know like you followed a lot more tighter. So um, I go interior. You know what? Yeah, because I don't know their center situation. That I don't know. I know that they have a tackle issue. So I go Patrick Paul out of Houston. That leaves you to get the
That's
pick
good.
for your Colts.
And you took one of my guys already. You took
Yeah.
Quinion to Jacksonville,
Hmm. And they do need. They
and
didn't
I
address the
know
corner.
we did not. We brought in Kenny.
Hmm.
We're gonna need safety help too,
Yeah, I wouldn't take
but
him
I think
there.
we can go safety later on.
Exactly. You definitely can.
Oh, absolutely not. I know I'm gonna go corner. Just trying to see which one I want to go.
Yeah, and not that you're not reaching at this point too
That
early
yeah,
in the second
and
round.
somebody who fits what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any edges that are there
Uh,
either. That would be.
yeah, let me check the edge because we'll need some edge too. I tell you what,
Hmm.
we're gonna keep building. We're gonna keep building up the offense. I'm not happy with secondary right now.
Hmm.
That's gonna be a reach though. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'll go Enos Rakestraw. Yeah, Rakestraw out of
Corner,
Missouri.
corner.
I, I
Yeah,
think
out of Missouri.
I think he'll fit what we want to do.
Okay, okay. Let's see. That leaves the Giants. The Giants took Malik Neighbors as a weapon. They need running back. This is where I would go since it's the second round. I don't necessarily want it, but they take Trey Benson at that spot. Downhill
Ah,
runner, good
that's
speed,
nice.
run between the
That's a good
tackles.
pickup
They
for him.
would take Trey Benson. That solidifies their offense now. Jacksonville.
So you went corner already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to build up our defense. They like these Clemson players. I
Mm-hmm.
tell you what,
I know
though,
where
I
I
think
know where you're going.
I think I'm gonna switch something up though. This is later on in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost mid second round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Brandon Fisk.
Ah, you darn it. That's where I was going with my
I'm
next
gonna go
pick.
Brandon
Good.
Fisk.
Braden
Give them
Fisk,
a
yeah.
athletic defensive tackle. Can play on the edge. Can
Mm-hmm.
can play that 3-4 in.
Yeah. He can pass
Kick
rush. He can
inside on
give you a
rushing
pass
down.
rush.
I'm gonna go
Uh-huh.
Braden Fisk.
Yeah. That's a
Hmm.
good pick because that's exactly where I was going with the Bengals with that next pick. But since you said that, I thought you were going with this
Mm.
name, and because he wasn't there, I'll go with another one who had a solid, consistent at that same position. He had a good combine, good numbers. Ruka Royal, row, 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 row. sitting at number 49. Yeah, that's good. That's good pickup, man.
Oh, let's see. I'm
The Eagles again.
I'm back up with Philly,
Yeah,
and
they need
they
linebacker.
got two second round picks.
Yep.
They do need linebacker. Let's see what's on our board. I think that might be. No, you know what? This is a this might be a bit of a reach. This might be a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a reach, but this is a legacy pick. They know what this kid's dad was.
Ah.
They know
Mm-hmm.
what his makeup is, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a position of need. He's more of a old school linebacker. You are
Mm-hmm.
switching with Vic Fangio to a 3-4,
Yeah.
and you're gonna need that run stopper in the middle. I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Trotter Jr. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. So Pittsburgh has addressed they got the quarterback situation. They addressed the offensive tackle with their last pick. I say they do something a little wild here, and they do need corner. They can use another weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They just lost the what's the name kid, the cat. What's his name? The other receiver,
Johnson,
opposite. Yeah. So
Deontay
I think
Johnson.
they do. Yeah, Deontay Johnson. I think in this position they do go wide receiver, but I think they throw people off because they go somewhere with a guy who's a little under the radar, but a lot of people are not paying attention to is Malachi Corley, Western Kentucky.
Ah, I'm sitting here looking. I know I
Mm-hmm.
picked for the Browns. That's what I was going to take for the Browns.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of
He's
people
got
are
some
going to look
speed
at
Smith
Lad
to him.
McConkey. Yeah, they look at Lad McConkey. They look at Troy Franklin, but he's perfectly a good complement for Pickens. He'll be a good complementary player. You know, you need that. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
with the tight ends they got too, he give you a little deep speed to go along with that. With the bruising tight ends you have, and then that
Yeah.
big body wide receiver, so that fits perfect. You got LA at number 52. Let's see. They have LA has addressed their edge issue with Weston and retiring, so they've already made some free agency addressing the offensive line a little. You got
Yeah,
linebacker and
they should be
cornerback.
they beefed up the O line.
Yeah. So cornerback, linebacker, D tackle are also some other issues that they can address here. But this is where we get into that draft where you got to know that you know that you know about fits and everything else.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I think if you get this guy in, I know he's kind of slipped. He didn't have a good combine, and I think he could
Mm-hmm.
probably slide to the third round too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Leonard Taylor out of
Oh
Miami.
wow. Ugh.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
go Leonard Taylor
nasty
out of Miami.
reach.
They're
That's a
I'm gonna have to go Leonard
nasty
Taylor. They're
reach.
gonna have to beef up their. They're gonna have to beef up that defensive front.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
Understood. They
see. We'll
took
see how that works.
okay. We move on, and I get to actually pick. See, I would have gave him Dern. What's the name? Just to do it, Leonard Taylor, just to mess him up. I'm telling you, his combine, dude. Even his
Was
pro day
terrible.
didn't look. His pro day wasn't
Yeah.
good either. From what I saw, what I heard, it wasn't the best either. Um, Apparently this guy, I don't know how you do it. You can explain to me a little bit more how you turn a 4.6 into a 4.5. When you run a 4.65 and then you turn around and run a 4.54 at your pro day, is that possible?
No idea. Well, you know what? Yeah, Joe Hayden.
You're
If
breaking
I'm
up a
not
little bit,
mistaken,
bro.
at the combine, Joe Hayden ran 4.6. At his pro day, he ran 4.3.
Yeah,
So
somebody lying. But he lasted in the league. He
Yes,
never,
he
but
did.
he never. How many Pro Bowls did he make? He did. He lasted in
He
the
made
league.
he made a few. He made a few, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. So that goes from one of the ops DBs to another op DB. I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm gonna give a Cam Kitchens. They need another safety to fill depth. They take Cam Kitchens and a ball hawk. He doesn't have to come in and be the man. He can develop. They can work with him. The strengths, his weaknesses, they can work on his strengths and maximize him and
Yeah.
fit him in the system because he is a ball hawk. He will create turnovers, but that's a good and bad thing. So now we got
Well,
Cleveland.
they got Chauncey Gardner Johnson, so he can roam as the single high, and
Yeah,
you can let that short stuff with Nate
yeah,
Wiggins that we picked up for him and
yeah,
Jeremiah Trotter.
yeah. They went defense.
Man.
Yeah, it's a nasty
If it
defense
goes
when you
that
think.
way,
Yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty.
if it goes that way, I feel for you Browns fans. I mean you
Yeah.
Cowboys fans.
Cowboys. Yeah.
All
Cleveland
right.
Browns
Cleveland Browns finally on
finally
deck.
get a pick. Golly, I ain't even pay no attention to them because they just ain't drafted yet. I know
Right.
a place they probably would go, to be honest.
Well, they're gonna
Cause
have to
me,
go. They're gonna have to beef. They're gonna have to beef up some offensive line. I think with the trading for Jerry
yeah,
Judy kind of
yeah.
gives you some weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what they are gonna need. We know Nick Chubb is coming back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
They like to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the addition of Judy, you got Amari Cooper, the Joku, so you
Mm-hmm.
got weapons to kind of ease up and create running
Mm-hmm.
lanes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Jonathan Brooks, running back from Texas.
He coming off an injury too, though. That's the thing. So you draft a running
Yeah,
back that's coming off an injury. So let's say I don't know how serious it is. Has he? I don't think he's fully
he
recovered
got hurt
from it
early
yet.
in the season, so he should be good.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
didn't he get hurt early in the season?
Mid-season, mid-season. He got hurt mid-season.
He should
Yeah, I
he
had
should
to.
be all
Yeah,
right. They ain't gonna do nothing but tear him apart anyways.
yeah, exactly. All right. So the Dolphins, they took Johnny Newton at D tackle to fill that role. You still don't need any they don't need no offensive weapons to add right now. I think they still need to address that defense and
Mm-hmm.
continue to address that defense. Um you know what? I think they catch a lot of people off guard and they go defensive interior again and they take Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. Son of Chris Jenkins Jr. Let me get it right because his daddy was Chris Jenkins. That's a
I had
possible
forgot.
late first round talent that went mid second round. Yeah,
That's big. Who called me?
yeah.
All right, let me see. Let me see. Your Dallas Cowboys.
I already know what I would address, but I wonder what you gonna do. They went offensive line. Do they go offensive line again, or do they switch over?
That's To be completely honest with you. I'm thinking offensive line again. I'm gonna go Zach Frazier.
Thank you,
I'm gonna go Zach
thank
Frazier.
you, thank you for
Zach
not
Frazier.
thinking like Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones would have went and reached for some mid tier position player D tackle, and yeah, because I was sitting there looking, I was like, what defensive tackles are here right now? Ain't nobody gonna be able to answer that situation that we had with the run. But anyways, we moving on to Tampa, and they had their pick. They took Tyler Guyton on the offensive line. Now they can. I mean, they actually are not in a bad position with their picks that they have. They need cornerback, they need center, and Frazier just left the board. I'm not going to take center in that position. I'm going corner.
Mm.
Kwame Lassiter, Georgia.
Mm.
Even though I would have took the guy right after him too, because I liked him.
Yeah,
He did well. Max Melton. It was between
yeah. I
them
like.
two.
I
I
really like
remember
what he
that.
did.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where I'm going here with Green
With
Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah.
That's where
Max
I'm going.
Melton.
Max
That's
Max
good.
Melton.
Yeah. So I'll take Max Melton there. That was a quick 2 picks right there. So we go to the
Yeah.
Texans. The Texans are sitting here with Edrin Cooper at linebacker. They addressed that. Uh, they're now in a position they can afford to add just rich get richer situation. I like this guy's workout. I like his film. Now this person I'm about to talk about, I didn't see a lot of Michael Hall Jr. out of Ohio State. But I was getting ready to think about Makai Wingo at LSU. But I don't know how much. I'm
Mm,
thinking there may be a bit of a much a reach in the second round when you could get him possibly in
yeah.
the third round. So I would go after Michael Hall Jr., Ohio State, because you just all you're doing now is just adding pieces to the puzzle to continue to get better. And it's a position of need. You take what the best position, the best player on the board at the position you need. That's what I did.
Yep. I think
Buffalo
that's
at
kind of
60.
what Buffalo's going to do here. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go. We lost a lot of safeties.
Mm-hmm.
We brought back Taylor Rapp. We know with Damar Hamlin, we know what happened with him.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy here is a ball hawk. This guy turns the ball over. He's played a lot of big time football and big time conference. And I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
Javon Bullard. I'm going to go Javon
Javon
Bullard.
Bullet.
Yes, sir.
Mm. We're going chalk here. Let's see. All right. Now, it's the Lions. You already took a safety in Cooper DeJean. All right, David, I'm gonna ask you real quick, bro. I know free agency they let Akuda go. Chauncey Garner Johnson's gone. Who did they replace them with again in
They
free agency? Who
traded.
they bring?
They traded for Carlton Davis. Talking about
Okay.
corners.
Yeah.
They traded for Carlton Davis. They re-signed Emmanuel Mosley, and they bought in Armeek.
Okay.
I can't remember the dude last name. He played.
Okay.
I think he
I
was with
got
the
you.
Bears.
Yeah. So they've addressed all of that already. Then, so you addressed the secondary once. They actually they got a stout, good, solid offensive line. In
Mm-hmm.
this position now, you just pretty much adding to what you need. It is a position of need. I don't know much about this guy though, and I'm not gonna reach. I don't want to reach at that position either. Not this early. Let's see, the tackle. They go McKinley Jackson, Texas A&M.
Mm.
That leaves you with Baltimore. And who did you take with Baltimore here? Top Robinson. I think they stay defense again. No, this is where you
Well,
probably see
I'm not.
offense right here.
Yeah, and Cooper
Mhm.
Beebe right there.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
where I'm going. They
Cooper
lost
BB.
Kevin Zeitler to the Lions, so
Hmm.
they lost both their starting guards, one to the Lions and one
Hmm.
to the Jets.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to replenish my offensive line.
All right. Well, here's where I add weapons. Even though, um, you know what? I would say that I thought about it. No, I'm not going to add a weapon here. This is where I think San Francisco goes because you just had some shifting in your defensive line. They just continue to build their rotation here. They go Makai Wingo, LSU. So
Mm.
that leaves Kansas City. I mean, it's still a lot of good talent left on the board. A lot of good talent. Kansas City can go anywhere still.
Anywhere they want.
Yeah. I'm looking at now. This is where they can get real mean to the league, in my opinion. Because I see two names on the board. They can get real mean with people and be unfair, especially when you got the best quarterback in the game right now.
And I'm definitely going this here to me. Now this is just to me. This is somebody that makes sense.
Hmm.
You got Hollywood who can go deep.
Hmm.
Who would draft? Who would draft? We drafted offensive line in the first
Yeah, you
round.
went offensive line. Offensive line. Yeah.
So we know their center. We know their center is good. Both guard positions are good. They still have
Hmm.
Jawan Taylor at right tackle. I
Hmm.
drafted my left tackle For the offense, we have Marquise Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice. You
Bryce,
have obviously you also
Pachinko.
have Travis Kelsey
Mm-hmm.
Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is just somebody that I think played well in college, knows how to get open, shifty and fast, but he's gonna make those tough catches.
Mm-hmm.
We had the worst drop rate last year,
Yep.
having the best quarterback in football. I'm going to continue to build around that. We lost L'Jarius Sneed. We have depth in our secondary. Our main issue was we got Chris Jones. Okay, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go Lad McConkey.
Yep.
I'm going to go Lad McConkey.
That's it. That concludes the second round. We go to the full results here, and everything is set. That's the first round. I'm trying to see. There's round two here. Lad McConkey being the last pick in the second round.
Final pick.
I think that yeah, the third pick. That now we did three rounds, man. It gets real interesting because Troy Franklin's still on the board. You still
Yeah.
now I'm looking for fit. Now I'm looking for fits because now you got to know the
Right.
systems, and that's why I say get you got to know the systems and who fits what. So that's why I'm looking to try to fit guys that I'm familiar with. That's why I'm like, that guy doesn't fit the system that I know they run. I don't know if they're gonna go there. Um, that's even me. Like I said, that when I took Kwame Lassiter, I was gonna take Max Melton, but I was like, I don't know because I don't want to go chalk. You
Right.
know, I'm not
Right.
going to go chalk just by big name schools because I'm like some of these smaller name guys are actually better prospects. Um, I like the Cooper BB pick at guard. I thought you actually were going to go secondary. I thought you were going to go Cole Bishop, Utah, and what
Was
did
the only for
and the kid from Texas Tech? Did we take him yet? Remember the one they were talking
no
the defensive back?
he hasn't
Hmm.
gone yet, and that's why I said
Yeah.
like that. This draft, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to work on. Um, I'm gonna drop one on D's corner
Uh,
probably Friday. I'm gonna work
okay.
on one. I'm gonna try to do 2 rounds. I might even want to do 3 rounds just because it's so freaking deep. Like this draft class, certain positions are so deep. But if it goes the way that we did here,
Hmm.
the Eagles, in my opinion, have already kind of won free agency.
Oh yeah, and then they just
If
destroyed the draft.
oh my god,
Yeah, I
with
mean,
so many more players
added
available.
weapons. Yeah, and then you
Goodness.
look at even if they didn't take like I took Cameron Kitchens, I could have very easily took Tyler Nubin there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he was still on the board. He was still on the board at the time. If I'm looking right, let me make sure. Or did we already take him? No, he wasn't taken yet. If
Did
I'm
he go in the
correct.
first round?
No, didn't he go? He might win the first round. That's what it is. I think Tyler Nubin went in the first round. I think
I'm
you
looking
took him.
because I thought I took him. I know I took him, but I don't
You drafted him. I'm just trying to remember
not in the
where you
first round.
drafted him at. No, it wasn't the first round. It was the
Oh,
second round.
Washington 36.
Washington
Washington
took. Okay, so he did
36.
go first. That's why I took Cam because that's who I was penciling in if
Yeah,
that position. Yeah, because when I saw Satan Newman would be a higher pick over say at that position. I like those picks.
I do too.
I like the
I
picks.
do too.
The only one you got me with that threw me out the most, and it ain't even the Jonathan Brooks because I understand the pick. I just was thinking about his injury. It's the Leonard Taylor.
I forgot
Ugh.
about the injury.
Yeah.
Is which
No, that Leonard.
it's and the thing with Leonard Taylor, I
Mhm.
just feel where did I draft him at? Let me look
You
because I
drafted him
remember picking.
52nd. He drafted to
Yeah,
LA
they
52nd.
need they needed more. I think he's more of a 3-4 defensive end. I also
I got you.
considered there. I considered taking Chris Jenkins Jr.
Yeah.
I
I
considered
think I
Chris
took him.
Jenkins
Yeah,
right there.
I got you. I took him before then though, didn't I? Yeah, he went
No, you
Leonard
took him
Taylor.
at
No, I took
55.
him after. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
you
was
took him
wondering. It's
55.
like because I was looking, I was like, dang, Chris Jenkins probably should have went first, but we good.
I just think
Uh
some. I think sometimes what happens is like these coaches they get hooked on the potential that they've seen, flashes that
yeah.
they've seen on tape, and they don't
Uh-huh.
let certain things hinder them. Because if you
Yeah,
only go off
tunnel
of
vision.
the combine combine and
Mm,
the pro days,
yeah,
Braylon Trice shouldn't probably wouldn't even be drafted. But he's not a
exactly.
tester. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a football player. So once you get him
Yeah,
in, that's where you hit on those late round guys. That's where you hit on
yeah.
those late round guys, those guys that might not have the physical, the height, weight, speed guys, but they just understand technique. They understand how to play. They understand leverage and whatnot.
There's still some good corners on the
I want
board. The
to,
only thing is the team system fit. Who runs more man than zone? Because if you're looking for man corners,
and
there's a shitload of man corners still on the board that are good, and even
a
your
ton,
slot
a ton,
corners, nickel corners are still on
a
the
ton.
board that would give you a good amount of talent. Be able to contribute early at that position. Um, the safety position is actually probably still two or three names that you could throw out there. It's not a very strong safety class, but there's still
No.
some names out there. Linebacker, I think you got majority of your top except for Gray and what's his name, Wallace out of Kentucky. Gray out of North Carolina and Wallace out of Kentucky is still on the board
Yeah.
that could have easily went in the second round. It doesn't seem like linebacker is probably the one position in this year's draft that is not getting talked about enough, because it's no big names this year. And then because that's the next position, it seems like running back is a little bit more devalued than it once was.
Right. And not to mention, well, I know we're talking about other positions, but I'm looking and just going back over this. It's
Mhm.
we're down 2 rounds. We would be heading into the third round, and Bo Nix would still be on the board.
Yeah.
That's
But that,
kind of that's where I think his true value really is.
exactly. Exactly. It's some deficiencies in his arm. I think he has
Mm-hmm.
I think he can process and go through the offensive schemes and stuff, but I think it was a lot of things that were done at Oregon that kind of shielded certain deficiencies in his arm strength. They threw a lot of line of the scrimmage and a lot of behind the line of scrimmage passes. The vertical game, he's not going to be that. So he needs to a team that takes him is going to have to be a team that automatically, who doesn't really go vertically down the field, who more of a West Coast style dink and dunk passing game. That's where he would fit best. And I'm gonna be honest, right off the bat, I don't know what pro team really fits a system that would fit Bo Nix the most. You may know more, but I
I
don't know off the
consider.
bat.
I just personally don't. I don't like. I don't want to say him because it's not like a
Mm.
personal thing
His
against the
game.
person.
You don't like his
I
game.
don't like his. I don't like his game,
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah.
I considered him with the Rams at 52.
Okay.
Sit behind Matthew Stafford.
Hmm.
You got Puka Nakua and man, what's the other receiver name? Cooper. Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup.
You got Puka
Yeah.
and you got Cooper Cup
Uh-huh.
that you can get the ball to quick. So
Hmm.
um I think McVay would make it simpler for him. If you really look at it outside of Justin Herbert, what Oregon quarterback, just how before CJ they talked about what Ohio State quarterback tore up the league. What
Yeah.
Oregon quarterback really tears up
Joey
the league?
Harrington, trash. Achilles Smith, trash. I could throw out those two
Marcus
names.
Mariota.
Oregon, Marcus Mariota. Yeah, that's
So
that's three. That's three Oregon quarterbacks. I mean, they do have a Hall of Fame quarterback in their history, but
right.
recent history, all of these. I mean, Harrington went first round. Achilles Smith went first round. Marcus Mariota went first round, and they all turned out to be busts for the
And
most
the
part.
thing about it is what I was gonna say on our last video.
Hmm.
Um, when you really stop and think about it, in in football, obviously the quarterback position is the main. Obviously quarterback is the main position, the most important position.
Hmm.
How many of them truly hit? Like if you, we just talked about Justin Fields on our previous video
Hmm.
with Trevor Lawrence and all that. Trey Lance, where's he at? Zach
Yeah.
Wilson,
Hmm.
where's he at?
Hmm.
Mac Jones, where's he
Where's
at?
he at? Yeah.
Justin Fields,
Where
where's
is
he
he
at?
at?
That Trevor Lawrence is still
You breaking up
with his
some. It
team.
must be the rain. Yeah, it must be the rain we having because it's kind of breaking you up a little bit. But I asked
Oh,
you this question,
yeah.
man. Staying on
It's
subject though.
it's it's
Uh,
starting out here. So,
yeah.
mhm.
No, I'm staying on the same topic, but it's a quarterback question. Of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league, right? Let's just name our 10 top 10 quarterbacks. How many of them were first round picks? We know Burrow, we know Patrick, uh who's what's the name was Buffalo, Buffalo's quarterback.
Josh
Uh
Josh Allen,
yeah, yeah, Josh Allen, Lamar
Lamar,
was a first rounder. Um Jalen Hurts was picked when?
second
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 round.
round.
Okay. Jalen Hurts was picked second round. We already know Brock Purdy's story. We know Dak's story. Then you shift back over to Justin Herbert. You know his story. He was a first rounder.
He was a first
Um,
rounder.
yeah, I'm trying to go around. It's like my mind's going around in a little Rolodex, thinking of every team and the
Yeah,
best
me too.
quarterbacks in the league, the best in the league right now. If you got to say top 10, I mean that's why I threw Dak's name up. I'm like, if you're saying top 10 quarterbacks in the league,
Yeah.
Dak is a top 10 quarterback in the league. He's just not a top five.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
If you go division
by
by
division.
division,
Uh-huh.
NFC West, out of those four quarterbacks that's there, Matthew Stafford was a first rounder.
I pick.
Gino was a
Hmm.
second rounder. Brock was
Uh-huh.
last,
Last.
or
Kyler
Kyler
was
was
a
the number
number
one
one.
overall.
Yeah, number one overall.
But is he? I wouldn't consider him a
Yeah.
top
Yeah, it's been hit or
10
miss.
quarterback.
It's been hit or miss. But I
AFC,
was trying to
AFC
say,
West. Yeah, right.
yeah. No, I was just trying to say where I was going with it was it's kind of a hit or miss. You're gonna tend to have more of your first round quarterbacks
Yeah,
that may end up not making it. And
a
then
mountain of nothing.
it
Hmm.
yeah, and then a lot of your legends turn out to be either late round or late first rounders or your guys that were drafted third, fourth, fifth round or later. You know, they turn out to be
This
your
is
legends.
this something that we might be able to make it a short, but this
Hmm.
is why my opinion of the goat. I don't know if I'm breaking up or not. It look like I'm freezing on my end. The
A little
rain's
bit.
starting to get heavy out. It's starting to get heavy
Yeah,
out here.
yeah, we
But
good.
this is why I say the GOAT conversation.
Hmm.
I know what Tom Brady has done.
Hmm.
When I say GOAT, was you supposed to be the guy from the very jump, and did you amount up to being the guy by the time your career was done?
I know where you're
See,
going with this.
it's hard. It's hard when that pressure gets put on you from the very jump, and
Uh
you
huh.
amount to it. I'm not saying that it's easy the other
Hmm.
way, but it's easier when you're in the shadows and you can see how to work. You can see what you're supposed to do. You can see how you're supposed to be.
Hmm.
That's why, and it's not just because I'm a Colts fan. I've had this conversation
Hmm.
even when it comes to Jordan and LeBron. LeBron was
Hmm.
supposed to be the next Jordan. He lived up to it. He
Hmm.
might not have made six, and that's that. My thing is when you talk about a team game. You again, I understand the quarterback, most important position, blah blah blah. But Tom Brady had better teams.
Hmm.
He wasn't like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes just had the worst offense that he has had in his career, and he's
Hmm.
the reason they won the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
He's the reason they went on the road and throughout the playoffs and did this and did that. It didn't come down to a field goal. It came down to the ball in his hand. Watch him work.
Hmm.
Tom Brady in his early Super Bowl wins, he's had the better team. He had the better. Look at the Hall of Famers that he had on defense. He had a Hall of
Hmm.
Fame kicker, a Hall of Fame kicker. Not saying that, not trying to discredit Tom or anything like that. But look at LeBron. People say LeBron's not the greatest because he doesn't have 6 rings.
Hmm.
Jordan doesn't have the most points. Jordan doesn't have the most assists. You know what I'm saying? So like you can
Yeah.
compare and contrast. You can compare and
It's
contrast all
apples
you
and
want.
oranges. It's
Apples
apples
and
and
oranges.
oranges. Yeah.
My thing is when you come out, this is just my opinion on the GOAT. You come out oh, at 18, he's supposed to be the guy. And
Mm-hmm.
he's what, almost 40, and he's still one of the main guys in the league. Tom Brady had to work to become who Tom Brady was. If Tom Brady goes to Oakland, does Tom Brady become Tom Brady? You see what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, it
Like
fit also
when
plays
you
a
hear
part in
older
that.
players
Yeah.
talk, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right. So, but when you hear older players
Mm-hmm.
talk, they say it was harder to play against Peyton Manning than it was Tom Brady because Peyton Manning gets up there and he's a coach on the field.
Yeah,
He'll call a
cerebral.
completely different play from the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Tom
cerebral.
Brady was just right. Tom Brady knew where to go with the
Mm-hmm.
ball, when to go, and how to get the ball out of his hands
Mm-hmm.
fast. You know what I'm saying? So, like
Mm-hmm.
again, so when it comes to the quarterback position, staying on topic with the draft,
Mm-hmm.
who's to say Caleb Williams, even though you're drafting him number one overall, who's to say that he's going to become a Hall of Famer? Who's to say in three years he won't be where Justin Fields is?
Ask yourself this right here while you ask that question. Look at the last couple of drafts and the top two quarterbacks. We can go over the last few drafts and see the quarter from Winston and Mariota, Wentz and Goff, uh,
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, and who was it? It was Baker Mayfield and somebody else. I can't remember, but you get what I'm saying when you get these quarterback
Yeah,
pairings. Because
Lamar
you look
went
who went,
Lamar went 32
yeah,
in
yeah,
that draft with Baker. Look
Yeah,
what Lamar's done.
yeah. Baker went first. Then you had who'd you have behind him? Watson, Mahomes, and Jackson, right? Weren't they all in the
And
same draft?
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky. That's who I'm leaving out. It was Mitch Trubisky that was drafted over. Golly, who was
Yeah,
that was drafted over?
over Patrick Mahomes, over Deshaun
Over
Watson.
Patrick. Yeah, over the yeah. You're right.
Because I
Now the
think
question is,
Mahomes went 12th.
yeah, he went 12th. He was still a first round pick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up what year was Dak Prescott drafted. Was it 2017?
16.
16. All
16.
right. Hold on. Because I'm looking at this real quick because I'm trying to remember. I ain't really paid attention in a while. Let's see. I want to go back and revisit the picks.
Just the quarterbacks.
Yeah. What quarterback player selections in the 2016 draft? That was the Wentz golf draft. Yep. That was the golf Wentz draft. Bosa, Ezekiel Elliott,
Paxton
I
Lynch.
believe Paxton Lynch. That sure was. Wow. The 2016 draft. Now you go back and you look at those. You look if you could redraft, what quarterback you take in number two? I'm saying it as a question because I'm looking at we could redraft that draft because we criticize, right? And we say
Yeah.
this person is this and this person ain't that. But going by where they ended up, just because of where they ended up and where they are, you would have to say that Dak Prescott is a first round quarterback if you go redraft that. And he's definitely being drafted over Carson Wentz. Jared Goff is different because he's
Yeah.
shown that he's been able to, even though he's not on the original team that drafted him, he's bounced back. But both of
But
them
he's
were on the
taking
verge of being questions. Yeah,
but he took his team when he was with the Rams. He did take
to the
them to the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. And
Exactly.
I think now where Carson is now obviously is terrible, but the year that they won the Super Bowl when he tore his ACL, he was
Mhm.
having an MVP caliber season now.
Yeah,
So, but I definitely think that would be a first round quarterback. Obviously, if you redraft this draft,
yeah. Because you look at
and that's
Paxton Lynch, Christian Hackenberg. It's just wild.
and Cardell Jones,
Cardell Jones. Yeah.
and that's the
And I
thing. A lot
wasn't
of
saying
those,
it just for Dak, but I was just trying to make a point with quarterbacks with
yeah,
system fit, where you're drafted. and who drafts you also matters just as much as your actual talent. I'm taking that to compare what you were saying about Brady and what you were saying about Peyton, because Peyton
Right.
came out as a top prospect, one of the top prospect quarterbacks. He came out, answered the billing at Tennessee, even though he never beat Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest knock on him. But when it came to translating to the pros, he's answered the bell and lived up to everything. When he left high school out of Isidore Newman, he was a top quarterback. He went to Tennessee. You know who he had to beat out to get that job? Who was the starting quarterback? Let's just say this: the starting quarterback who was starting that year at Tennessee when he came in as a freshman, and later in that year started to supplant him, ended up going to Major League Baseball. Todd Helton.
Mm.
Todd Helton, the base that played for the Colorado Rockies, that was the
Mm-hmm.
starting quarterback. They were in a quarterback battle. And Manning ended up beating him out. He was the starter during the season. By the end of the season, I think Manning kind of took over that spot. And the rest is history.
Real.
Manning never beat Danny Warfel at Florida. Never beat him. But like you said, Danny was a great quarterback, won the Heisman, put up all these numbers. Peyton, he just happened to run into Charles Woodson is the reason why he never won the Heisman,
Right.
but he was a Heisman candidate. But I say that to say this: he lived up in every stage
Every
where he went
stage.
through every stage of his football career. He lived up to the expectation or exceeded it. So he did get his team. He actually got Tennessee to a national championship game. They just lost to Nebraska.
And that's the thing. Like you look at RG3 and Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
RG3 won the Heisman. RG3
Hmm.
RG3 if I'm not mistaken was the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
But look what Andrew Luck did with older teams. He didn't have an offensive line around him.
Oh my
He did. It's
gosh.
not. I'm not going to act like he had the best play
Mm-mm.
callers or players around him either. But his rookie year, playoffs. The next
Hmm.
year, a game further than the playoffs. His third
Hmm.
year, the AFC Championship game, the game before the Super Bowl. Injuries just took a toll on him, and
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. And that's the main thing. Look at Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Injuries.
Yeah.
Now people are starting to say, hey, can he even be this? Can he
Is
be
this an
that?
Andrew
We
Luck
know what he can
situation?
do when he's
Yeah.
healthy. Right,
Yeah.
right,
Andrew
right,
Luck
right. So
was on a Andrew Luck was on a Hall of Fame path because he was
trajectory,
building
yes.
building his credentials and his trajectory. That's the same with Burrow. He already got his team to a Super Bowl. He's went in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs, but injuries. And I mean, even with Andrew's situation, I understand why he retired. He wanted to be able to walk away from the game, not limp away from it because of the
Right.
situation. He wasn't in the best situation, and it didn't seem like they were doing enough to comp, give him enough talent around him, especially in the trenches on the line to help him. So he made a business decision. That's all he did.
Yep.
But yeah, this quarterback thing, and we say this to everybody before we close up, because we already done went over an hour now.
Mm-hmm.
Before we close up, man, we just those of you who know ball, you know that it's not always the best quarterback; it's the best fit for that quarterback. Because very easily the top quarterback who's in the league could have went to the wrong situation. What if Mahomes ended up in a different situation? Would he be at Mahomes? So you have
Right.
to ask yourself that question. I get what you're saying, but then that goes into the old Cam Newton saying, game changer versus game manager.
Game manager. Right.
Who's able to make any system work versus who operates within the system. Tom Brady is the greatest game manager of all time that you can think
All
of,
time.
but
All time.
he wasn't a game changer. Peyton Manning could change the game simply from his cerebral mindset, not only just
Yep.
his arm talent. Because even when the arm talent left him, he was cerebrally strong enough in Denver to get it done.
Right.
And they got it
Right.
done because
Look at and that I know we're getting ready to close,
yeah.
but see that's my take this year when it comes to the draft.
Hmm.
That's why our very first mock draft, when I was picking for the Patriots,
Uh-huh.
yeah, okay, there's a lot of questions about a lot of these quarterbacks that's coming into the league.
Hmm.
Here's the deal. If I drop Drake May to New England, or I drop even Caleb Williams or Jaden
Hmm.
Daniels, where are they going? Are you
Yeah.
are you going to instantly become a playoff team? Are you going to instantly become your division? Does that change and make you sit atop your division? I don't believe
No,
it does.
no,
Not
it
this
doesn't.
year, but from the very jump when we started talking during our off-season talks, I
Hmm.
told you New England is poised to become the leader of this division years from now, 2, maybe 3 years from now.
Hmm.
You don't have a while. You don't have a weapon. You don't have a weapon. And the thing, if you watched, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it or not, but when they did Ohio State's pro day, Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't worked out. He didn't
I
work
know
out
that.
at the
I
combine,
saw
and he
that.
didn't work
Yeah, he
out
didn't
here.
work at his pro
And
day.
his dad said, I left it up to him. I told him, you can train right now like you're a professional player. I'll show you how to. It's a long season. I'll show you how to
Hmm.
keep your body up. I'll show you how to eat. I'll show you how to do X, Y, and Z, which I'm sure he's been doing since he was a freaking kid. Since
Yeah,
he said
his
he wanted to
daddy
play
didn't had him
football.
on that
Right,
regiment. Yeah.
right. Since he was playing
Mhm.
football. But the one thing I always loved about Marvin Harrison Sr. was
Hmm.
that they talk about the wide receiver position being divas.
Hmm.
Him and his son are not one.
Hmm.
His son might have a more of an personality. Marvin was reserved, but Marvin
Yeah.
worked, and he's teaching
Yeah.
his son that now. If I am picking for the New England Patriots, that's the type of player that I want on my team.
Mhm.
Because if you look at what he did at Ohio State, it didn't matter who was throwing him the ball. He gonna make plays.
Patriot
He's
way.
gonna make he's gonna make plays. I To
Hmm.
be honest with you, man, I wouldn't be obviously and I'm considering doing just a complete off the wall draft.
Yeah.
Could you imagine it? Could you imagine if the Chiefs traded just about every pick to go up and get Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Wow.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine that? Could you imagine that offense with that quarterback?
Hmm.
And that's the thing with it with receiver being at such a dependent position. You don't know where it's going to go. You got to have the guy at quarterback. If I
Hmm.
don't know if you're not considered that guy in your own draft class, how do I
Hmm.
expect you to come in and be the guy for this team? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like we were talking about, it has to be the perfect situation. You can't have a rookie head coach trying to alter and coming right behind Bill Belichick, who a lot of people consider the GOAT, and go with a rookie quarterback who you talk about he's frail, he's small and
Yeah.
size and this and that. And like you that's I don't like Drake May. A lot of people believe in Drake May. I've watched him. I'm not saying that he can't play. I just don't believe he's the second overall pick.
I got you.
I don't believe he's the second overall pick. In my opinion, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is like the best prospect.
No, yeah. I mean, but
He's
sometimes
the
the
best
best
prospect.
prospect doesn't get. Yeah, he's the best overall prospect in the
Right.
draft.
And obviously they
You know.
don't always go first.
Yeah,
So
they don't always go first because it's based off need. Yeah. But that concludes this episode, everyone. We thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, tune into D's Corner. Tap in with us on No Nonsense as it comes down the pike. Probably about another month or two before I get it going. Look out for D's Future Recruit Talk. We really appreciate once again like, share, and subscribe. We thank y'all very much, and peace out.